guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So, Global is up to their old tricks again. They appear to be moving pretty fast with the announcement of LR, Vegeta, and Nappa. We got the homie Goresh here, and by the way, Goresh, I'm looking at Vegeta and Nappa on the Dokkan Wiki, and I see that category, Inhuman Deeds. Oh boy.
Yeah, they're very inhuman, and they've done some deeds. I don't know. This video is not going to be talking about that, but I am not in favor of that name. Let's just say that.
It would have been better if they just taken your translation for the 50th time. That might have worked a little bit better. You know?
I mean, because my issue, just not to go super in depth with it, but like my issue is just by looking at the name, you don't know who's going to fit in there.
Yep.
It doesn't why not just call it category 25? Like there's no difference. I don't know.
All right, so the big thing about Vegeta and Nappa being basically announced right now in Global, they're already shown off on the Global Twitter. Love that they finally did implement the Twitter again. That's obviously very good. That means that Global's now moving like crazy fast. Because, you know, we were sort of wondering, like, where Trunks was going to release, where LR Krillin, Vegeta, and Nappa were going to release, because they were sort of in limbo. Like, in this Blue Kaioken Goku celebration for JP, we saw this last year, where units that released in the hit celebration for JP, you know, so we're talking Tech Golden Frieza's EZA, and, like, the physical Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, they ended up releasing 8 months later on Global in December, which is just so dumb, right?
Yeah, I remember specifically. I remember literally, I don't remember which episode of the podcast this was, but I remember being in the podcast and being mad because Global was behind like 7 EZAs.
Yeah.
And now we're literally like basically caught up. So they're like rapid firing out these EZAs on Global.
Okay, so just real quick, what EZAs does Global not have? So we have Kefla or Khalifa and Kale.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And
I mean, we have easy areas that we don't have, like the Frieza and the Cooler one. We have all the anniversary ones, and I think that's it.
Yeah, because remember, okay, during Golden Week, it was bizarre, right? Like, Gotenks and Boo came out, and then, like, Vegito Blue came out, like,
Vegito
3 weeks later. Remember that? It was, like, 3 weeks. It's like, what the hell?
Yep, and then, so that's a big point we can talk about here, is the fact that not only is Global speeding up, but JP has been slowing down, right? I mean, the Golden Week celebration, they released all those filler banners, and that was like a full month basically.
Yeah.
Right. So that was weird.
Okay, yeah. So they released all these, like, you know, it's like, oh, LR Goku and Frieza are back, Baby is back. Like, I don't know what they did one for Trunks and Mai, and it's like they've had like 3 or 4 featured LR banners. Like, I don't know why they keep bringing them back. You know,
yeah, they really like Trunks and Mai.
Yeah, it's like that's not going to drive sales. Like, Goku and Frieza makes sense. You know, Baby is pretty recent, but like Trunks and Mai, like I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I guess JP. But here's the thing: secretly, this has always been the case that JP's been moving like it feels like a little bit slower than Global. I mean, because Global has had really bad times, right? Like the infamous March of 2017, where it was like, you know, the April Fool's Day Yamchas were coming out, and then there wasn't really anything else, right? Like Physical Goku Black came out, but it was like so dead.
Yep, I remember that because I was very mad. I could. There was nothing to do. I would log in, I would get my stones, and I would log out. That's it.
Yeah, but I think the most infamous time I can remember was on JP. During the 3-year anniversary, they released LR Gogeta and Vegito on like January 30th or something like that, and then there was not another Dokkan Fest exclusive until Saiyan Day. It was UI Goku, and he wasn't even brand new, right? That's the thing. It was brutal. Yeah. So, you know, there's been these long dry periods of JP, but what's weird is that every time that happens, where it's like, okay, Global might be moving a little bit fast. And I was talking about it a little bit with Goresh, you know, beforehand. But, like, typically it seems like December, January, Global is, like, rapid fire race, like, pace, like, dropping, like, 4 or 5 Dokkan Fest exclusives, whereas JP's usually only doing, like, 1 or 2. And that's always the reason why we get to this point right before the Global anniversary, where it's like, okay, there's, like, this dead spot. Like, what are they going to do? You know, this year they did, like, you know, UI Goku first. Like, last year there was the Gohan and Goten celebration, because it's kind of like they just have, like, a hole there, because they start moving so fast. But they're, like, hesitant to actually, like, completely go all the way and, like, get the 2 games lined up. And, like, that's sort of the whole point of this video is, like just examining the fact that they're doing it again, right? They're like really rapid fire moving through some of this stuff. And it's like, is there a purpose to this? Like, do we want to just go all the way and get the games aligned? Like, I think that's a good idea. I think they should, right? Like,
Yeah, so I think there's been like 3, 4, 5, 6 different times throughout the history of this game where we've like looked at the schedules and we're like, huh, they could really get these games on the same page here, and it never ends up happening. So now we're looking at this, and you guys can correct us if we're wrong with this, but from what we're seeing, this seems to be the closest that the two games have ever been to each other, just in terms of content. And a lot of that, I think, has to do with the fact that they've been slowly ramping up the amount of global same time units and global first units,
yeah,
because that really, really pushes global ahead a lot. And we'll see that as we go through the timeline, because what I think is smart to do here is to start out the anniversary
yep,
and then to sort of look at the celebrations that JP has gotten since the anniversary, because that is what global needs to do in order to catch up, right? That's the ground that global would need to cover in order to get caught up with JP. So
yeah. So
obviously global heading into the anniversary here, we're going to have that, and that's going to be about a month. But then after that, like, what else do we have? So
yeah, so like, okay, so again, we've got the anniversary here. I mean, Team Dokkan actually already did like basically come out and say that like Gogeta and Vegito release on July 9th. So
yeah,
that's when they come out. So like, okay, we know.
yep, not surprising.
Yeah, yeah, because that was the same day that the Super Saiyan 4s released last year too. So it makes sense. Now, typically, like, it's weird, right? Because 2 years ago, they slid Turles after the anniversary. They just like kind of snuck him in there right before we knew this massive download celebration was going to happen. So like no one summoned for Turles on Global, and then like because of the shenanigans and the weirdness of Global First, Turles was just MIA forever after that, right?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
11 months.
So like as we're going through, I mean, I could just cut to the chase that like following the anniversary on Global, I do think they probably will move into Kefla.
Mm-hmm.
At the start of August. I think probably Kefla, this whole Universe 6 celebration, and then Khalifa and Kale would make sense.
Right.
Because like another big point is that Global has always been way behind on EZAs, but now they're not because they did Global First EZAs, basically, right? So
Yeah, the biggest thing I would say to note about the Kefla celebration is that it was split up into two parts on JP.
yeah.
But Global already has LRUI Goku, and Global already has the Rose EZA. So what Global can do with this celebration is they can just put it into a one-part celebration. They
Yeah.
can make this a one-parter, and that would enable them to sort of squeeze in this one celebration, because there's not that much big of a gap of time in between the anniversary and the download celebration, right? So
Yeah, so
that would
typically
let the
like
celebration sort of fill that gap, though, right?
okay, yeah, because Broly, Chile, and Lemo, and then Rose, LR Rose, like they still will release in July for Global, right? Like if I take a
Right.
look at it, okay, so the Super Saiyan 4s will come out on the 9th. I imagine like Broly, Chile, and Lemo might be somewhere between like the
You mean the
20th
fusions,
to
yeah.
the 24th or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So then usually like right there at the start of August, there's just that hole, right? And like you said, I'm taking a look at the celebration. So it's the Kefla Dokkan event and banner, a new
Right.
stage of Infinite Dragon Ball history,
Mm-hmm.
the new stage of the Wars of Universe 6 event, which is the equipment stage, which is so good. Like you just do that every day, and all of your Universe 6 units have crit and additional and like craziness. Like it's really good.
Yeah.
There's the Wicked Bloodline EZA area, which I mean, just easy to slide it in. There's the
Mm-hmm.
explosive chain battle. Now, I guess
Okay, put a question mark on that for now.
yeah, because like where, I suppose, I mean they could really just push this up during the anniversary, I guess. Like
Yeah. Okay, so I actually did a video on this talking about what I thought they would do with this. I think they're gonna leave that for Golden Week for Global.
okay, so
Um,
we'll see that arrive in November time then.
yeah, I mean, because what I think is gonna happen is they're gonna push the Extreme Super Battle Road to the anniversary, and if they're gonna do that, I don't see them then also pushing the explosive chain battle, because that would just be a lot, right?
I was actually wondering if potentially we could see Extreme Super Battle Road drop with like Vegeta and Nappa, right? Because
Oh,
they're
beforehand?
yeah, because they're doing the update, right, where they're bringing skill orbs and stickers into it before the anniversary. But why? because
But
maybe
didn't they do the same thing with JP? Wasn't that update pushed live like a week or two before the anniversary?
it was. I mean, it was in the data like a full month beforehand. Like I remember when Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Majin Vegeta were coming out, we were already examining that info, right? It was that
Yeah.
early. But I don't it wasn't until maybe like a week around the anniversary or something like that where we started to actually get details, and then they released those special stickers for Gogeta, Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta, where you just beat the stage with them 77 times and you got a sticker for them.
Hmm.
Which they only did for those 3 units, by the way. Very bizarre, but it's whatever, I guess.
It's kind of like just an intro to the feature, maybe.
Yeah, so I think we could see Extreme Super Battle Road come within the next couple of days here. And then,
Hmm.
again, equipment is a reward for it. So, like, that could be very good, right? Like, it's going to feel so powerful on Global. You beat one of these stages and you get these really good equips right away. Whereas on JP, we start out with this kind of shitty Whis event and we just get nothing good for like a month, right? So that could also make Global players feel better about equipment. So I actually really like the idea of that. And then stickers are another reward from the mode as well, Extreme Super Battle Road. So that could like sort of justify them coming out early, I think.
Yeah, interesting. 'Cause I don't know. For me, again, we'll have to see because I think we get the info tomorrow about the. I guess it would be the countdown celebration for Global with Vegeta and Nappa.
Yeah.
Um, I guess we'll see if that ends up happening. But I think I like the idea of the Extreme Super Battle Road coming during like part 3 of the anniversary because that would
Oh,
fill in because part 3 was like very notoriously dry.
yeah. So,
Um,
yeah, the thing about that, right, was it was basically just the EZA area for the LR Goku Black unit, the
yeah,
Zamasu Goku, and then there was the I think the Vegito, the Future Trunks arc stage of Infinite Dragon
yeah.
Ball History. Those were the two
Hmm.
things, and it felt to me like they were really proud of the LR EZA. Like that was like it's like here you guys go. You're so excited, right? And everyone's just like. Where's the full power Broly banner at? Like that's what So, yeah, but you're right. Like if they just snuck in Extreme Super Battle Road with that, that would work well.
Because that would then mean 2 LREZAs with the Kid Gohan, right?
Yeah, and that Kid Gohan is very strong too. I mean, you do have to
Yeah.
beat every single stage of the hardest event in the game, but it's a good reward. He's very good.
Hmm.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I guess since I was already looking at the Kefla celebration, so we have the chain battle, but then again, like you mentioned, then we go to Rose's EZA, who's already out. Um,
Yep.
then there's the physical supports, but like those, they really could release at any time, and like they did just rapid fire release the Tech, AGL, and STR ones, right? Like
Yeah,
super quick.
those supporting banners were never really on schedule for Global. They were always sort of like thrown out whenever they needed a filler banner.
Yep. And then the last thing would be the Kale and Khalifa EZA, and then the new Grand Priest event, which gives us Bardock equipment right now. By the way, in case people haven't been following this, you can do this event as many times as you want, this Grand Priest event. So, like, you can get, like, level 4 crits and additional stuff on all these Team Bardock members. So you just grind it as much as you want. So that's very, very good right there. I mean, I know these Team Bardock members aren't the craziest characters to get it for, but eventually, something like the Giant category, like, that's going to be really good, right? Or
Or the
World
Ginyu
Tournament.
Force, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yep, yeah. Oh, please, because that's the only Super Battle Road stage that like I feel like there's no chance of no iteming, right?
Yeah. Well, they need EZAs as well, but yeah.
Yeah. So like this would make sense, right? The Kefla celebration could be one part, and then there's no Rose EZA, but they do have the Khalifa and Kale one, and
Right.
then
And there's probably not going to be a chain battle, but we don't know yet.
yeah, but then I mean they could then move directly into the download celebration. Let
Right.
me just toss out my idea of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega Shenron, right? And
Okay.
then with that, maybe they EZA Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, or they EZA Super Saiyan 4 Goku to begin the 120% lead EZAs at the same time on Global and JP during a joint celebration, which makes sense because Global is now caught up in EZAs, right?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah. I mean,
That
it
makes the
does
most
seem
sense
like
to
it.
me.
Like, I don't know what JP will do during the Tanabata celebration then. I mean, I
Okay,
guess.
okay, so yeah, so what I think is going to happen is I think they're going to have another one of those 7 EZA things.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, the only problem is they were for the battlefield units last year, so I don't know how they're going to handle that this year. I don't know if it's going to be 7 again, or they might just pick like I don't know. Maybe they do a vote because I remember one year they had a banner where people actually voted for the featured units on there. I think it was that 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
Oh. People also voted for the first like some of the first like rebirths. Like they picked the
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 2 Gokus. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like, what if they had a campaign where they had like, I don't know, like 50 units on like a Twitter thing, and then the people got to vote on what they wanted to see EZA, and like the
Oh,
top like 5 characters got an EZA.
that would be so good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because there are some like real like potential like sleeping giants in there, right? Like characters that would be very helpful. Like I don't know, like Mass Saiyan, right? Like we'd
Yeah.
love to see him EZA. Or like I feel like another really big one is the physical Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman from the tournament. Like
Oh yeah. That guy's old.
yeah, and like he's on like
Or what about Super Saiyan 2 Trunks?
yeah. Well, I mean, we got to give him Awakening, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
Awakening plus EZA, yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, so we looked at the Kefla celebration, right? Which I think start of August is probably what we would say. But then like you go back and look after the anniversary, right? Anniversary, we know the timeline for that. But then the Beerus celebration, all that is already out on global, all out.
Mhm.
Blue Vegeta, all out. Tech units, all out. Tournament. There's another world tournament coming to global very soon in like a week or something
Yeah,
like that.
I was about to say, I guarantee you we're gonna have another tournament before the anniversary starts.
Yep.
And I think this actually will be the same exact thing. The only difference I see is obviously Hellfire 70 is already out on global, so we could get the Mecha Frieza, but I think it's going to be a new unit.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, because that's what they've been doing is they've been cycling, right? Like global will get one first, JP will get one first, and then they sort of reverse it for the next world tournament.
Yeah,
So I
like
don't know,
I
maybe
don't.
global gets I don't know, like a new Mai, right? To sort of like maybe fit in with the theme of the anniversary or something like that.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe like a standalone like Chile unit. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh. That's not fair. That global gets that first. That's a highly coveted.
Oh, when global gets something first, that's not fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah.
let's relax, all right? No. Okay, so then Bardock or the Beerus celebration, right? Global just got all that. Then we move
Yep.
on. Bardock stuff happened on both versions at the same time already, so that's already all out. Right?
Except for
Okay, go
Extreme
on.
Super Battle Road.
Yep.
So that's why, yeah. I mean, again, this is like the only event that's in limbo right now.
That's another
So I
thing they
think,
gotta stop doing, by the way. It's just like if you're gonna do a celebration for both versions, just release the same shit on both versions.
oh yeah, I had a whole rant video talking about this. But I think, yeah, like my theory is that they're gonna move this to part 3 of the anniversary. That's my theory.
Mm.
So that would take care of that.
I agree. I think that would make a lot of sense, and that could really help global out a little bit because a lot of JP players were feeling very underwhelmed because there's no traditional EZA in there, and
Mhm.
if you just put like Extreme Super Battle Road is a lot of content, so you add that
It's
into
10
the
stages, yeah.
yeah, you add it into the anniversary, and it's like, oh, okay, this is real big. And then after the Bardock Sunday celebration, we get Blue Cow King Goku, but then like all this stuff again it's all already out on global. Blue Cow King Goku, April Fool's Day stuff, LR Krillin and Trunks, Vegeta, and Nappa all either out or coming, right?
Mhm.
So then all of a sudden we're only left with 2 celebrations really that are MIA and global right now, and that's just the Kefla one, which has a spot we think, probably at the start of August, probably we'll see, right? And then
Yep.
the Gotenks and Boo Golden Week celebration. Now, typically what they do here is they combine Golden Week and Tanabata and create like the monster thank you celebration, which carries over between like December and November for global.
Yeah, and so the download celebration is going to be, it lasts until like what, the second half of September ish.
Mm-hmm.
And that will then leave us with like a month, maybe like 2 months of just what are we going to do. So
Yeah.
that's weird.
I guess, but that is another thing too. So like, JP, whatever EZA they release right here, that's something I think is just toss in for this celebration. Like, I think there's a very clear, like, way that they could sort of catch up to global. And I feel like we'll examine that more in part 2 on Goresh's channel, right? Because like we've already established that there's not really a lot for them to go through. Like we know some of the big celebrations are going to take place. Again, Team Dokkan are confirmed the $350 million celebration at the end of August. We know about the 5-year anniversary, and then Gotenks and Boo are like so freaking likely to be like around Thanksgiving, right? Because that's just what they do.
It's basically confirmed, yeah.
Yeah. So like this leaves like the start of August and then like October, December, January, I think, where global, if they choose to move fast in those months, we could see the games caught up very soon. So
Yeah, I mean, and then if they continue at the same, I guess, trajectory for both versions, like it's really not hard to see this lining up like this year.
yeah, yeah. So there we
So
go, guys. We talked about this at length here. Part 1. Remember, on Goresh's channel, there will be a part 2 where we're going to talk more about how we think that the games can sort of get aligned, and then probably talk about like how good for the game overall it would be. Which, I mean, spoiler alert, it would be very good for the game. You know, get them caught up. Let's do it. So my boy, the homie Goresh, thank you for coming on.
yeah, thanks for having me on.
And we'll catch y'all in part 2.